Idiolect is the first EP from a much bigger project called Xenolalia. 55 pieces of music, 11 5-track EPs. Each track on the EP is played by a different ensemble: electric, electronica, strings, horns, and a cappella. And the whole project is about how we humans communicate with each other and how we listen, and themes of what happens when you recontextualize things, how you can see them differently in different contexts, different perspectives, and I guess just the act of transformation and change was a big driving force behind what we wanted to reflect in the way that we were making the music and the themes that we wanted to come through. So we chose Idiolect as the first EP because it's a good word, which I'd not heard of before. So a dialect is obviously the regional characteristics of language, but idiolect is your own personal fingerprint, how you express yourself. And I liked that idea because I wanted this song to convey a kind of to entreat and encourage better dialogue, but also to remind myself to listen more carefully, to listen closer and look deeper. And so then, because we are doing this larger project, Xenolalia, that song then went on to have 5 other lives. So it also exists in strings, and in this case that is it's quite a straightforward string arrangement really this time, featuring Ross Holmes from Nashville, and the amazing cellola, which is an instrument that my dad designed. A 5-string hybrid. It's got sympathetic strings, but it's in violin range, so I did a lot of the arrangement initially on this, which opened a lot of doors for me, and is very useful in lockdown because it's like instant string quartet splat. I can see how things might sound. Then we have the horns version, and for that we had the amazing guest arranger Charlotte Glasson, and she sort of reimagined it as this. She changed the time signature, and it's in 7/8, and it's much more of a party spirited beast, I think. But then horns always do bring the party, so but it's quite cheeky. It starts with, it references one of the lyrics, which is all of the variation, and then it just goes on to do all this variation. So I like that. It's a little musical, little joke there. Then we have the electronica, which I really enjoyed collaborating with Laleif, who is a London-based electronic producer, and Beck Plexus, who is a avant-garde polymath. She's just released an extraordinary record called Sticklip, which you should listen to. And in that we really wanted to deconstruct language, the architecture of language, and look at what all of those individual kernels, so the idea was that when you break language down, like the individual particles don't actually have any inherent meaning, but our relationship with sound is ancient, and it kind of goes beyond meaning to a different place. So that sounds quite serious, but actually that tune's really quite a party tune. It makes me want to dance in a field. The a cappella, Ríoghnach Connolly, Faye Houston, Cassia Zerman, Blythe Pepino, myself and Raven and Husbanders. and we did quite a lot of experimental vocal work for that. I turned myself into an arpeggiator, which is something that I like to do now, and it's all built up of vocal sounds. It's quite dense, it's quite heavy. It's sort of, that was more drawing out the idea of air being heavy with memories, and it's like maybe a bit angsty, that one, but I really like it. It's quite primal because it's all voices. So that is the whole insight into Idiolect, the EP, and a little glimpse into what the bigger project of Xenolalia will be about. And we recorded it all in lockdown, because even though we started this project before lockdown, the bulk of the main body of the recording for this was done in lockdown. So it's been a lot of file sharing, everybody's favourite thing, and general, you know, the theme of the whole project is communication, but we had to relearn, we had to reimagine new ways to communicate with each other through lockdown, and to actually find the momentum and the energy to kind of keep pushing to create things in this really strange, uncertain future. But I think what I've got from it has been that there's a lot to be said for trying to keep up that collaborative spirit, and really a kind of devotion to the craft of songwriting, to keep writing and rewriting, and not really hanging around long enough for any of it to get stale. We're doing an EP every month, so it's fairly constant work, but it's feels wholesome.